In the heart of New Orleans, amidst the vibrant nightlife and soulful music, there lurks a legend that chills the bones of even the bravest souls. This is the tale of the Smiling Man of New Orleans, a figure that has haunted the streets for decades, his presence a shadowy whisper in the back alleys and narrow lanes. The origins of the Smiling Man are murky, his tale passed down through generations, each retelling adding a layer of dread. Some say it began in the 1940s, when a series of gruesome murders plagued the city. The victims were found with their faces twisted into grotesque smiles, eyes wide open in terror. The press dubbed the killer the Smiling Man, but he was never caught. As the years passed, the murders ceased, but the legend grew. Sightings of the Smiling Man began to surface. He was described as a tall, gaunt figure with a pale face and an unnerving, permanent grin. His eyes, black as coal, seemed to bore into your soul. He would appear at night, often in the French Quarter, his smile gleaming under the dim streetlights. Those who encountered him reported an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the very air grew colder in his presence. One of the earliest recorded encounters was by a young jazz musician named Louis. One night, after a late gig, Louis took a shortcut through an alley. Halfway through, he felt an eerie chill. Turning, he saw the Smiling Man standing at the alley's entrance, his grin wide and sinister. Frozen in fear, Louis watched as the Smiling Man slowly approached, his footsteps echoing in the night. Just as he was within reach, a group of revelers stumbled into the alley, breaking the spell. The Smiling Man vanished, leaving Louis trembling and haunted. Variations of the legend tell of different encounters. Some speak of the Smiling Man standing silently at the foot of their bed, others of him following them through the misty streets, always just out of reach. Despite the variations, the core of the legend remains the same, an ominous figure with a terrifying grin, a harbinger of doom. If you're enjoying this spine-chilling tale, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our eerie stories. Now, back to this story. One particularly chilling version of the story involves a woman named Claire. In the 1970s, Claire moved to New Orleans to start a new life. She rented a quaint apartment in the French Quarter, charmed by the city's vibrant culture. One night, as she returned home from work, she felt an unshakable feeling of being watched. Shrugging it off as paranoia, she continued her routine. Weeks passed and the feeling persisted, growing stronger each night. Then, one evening, as Claire walked home, she saw him. The Smiling Man stood under a flickering street lamp, his eyes locked onto hers. Paralyzed by fear, she watched as he raised a hand and pointed directly at her, his smile widening impossibly. Claire ran, her heart pounding, not stopping until she reached her apartment. For nights afterward, she heard strange noises outside her window, scratching, whispering, and once, a low, sinister chuckle. Terrified, Claire decided to leave New Orleans, but not before experiencing one final encounter. As she packed her bags, she caught a glimpse of him in the mirror. The Smiling Man, standing in the corner of her room, his grin the last thing she saw before everything went black. If this tale is giving you goosebumps, give us a like, share it with friends who love urban legends, and subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Now, back to this story. The Smiling Man's legend has persisted into the present day, evolving with the times. Modern tales often involve late-night joggers or those leaving bars in the early hours, catching sight of a grinning figure in the distance. Some believe he's a ghost, a restless spirit of the original murderer. Others think he's a demon, feeding off fear and misery. Yet despite the countless stories, there is no concrete proof of the Smiling Man's existence. No photographs, no video footage, only the chilling accounts of those who've seen him. Perhaps he's a manifestation of New Orleans' dark history, or maybe a figment of collective fear. Whatever the truth, the Smiling Man remains an indelible part of the city's folklore. So the next time you find yourself wandering the streets of New Orleans after dark, beware. If you see a tall figure with a disturbing smile, turn away and leave quickly. For if you meet the smiling man's gaze, you might just become the next chapter in his never-ending tale. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling tale, be sure to hit that like button, share it with friends who love a good scare, and subscribe for more eerie stories.
Thank you for your support.